This is one of the more controversial videos on this channel. I'm going against a model that a lot of other YouTubers in this space like a lot. And that's the logarithmic regression for Bitcoin. It's charts like this, for example. It's Bitcoin on a very long-term chart starting in 2010 and on a logarithmic scale. So we're going here from 10 cents to $1 to $10 to 100 and so on. A 10x for each of those horizontal lines. And then we've got these curved channels that try to imply whether or not we are currently cheap in Bitcoin or expensive. So you want to be buying heavy whenever we are cheap. You want to be offloading whenever we are in the green zone. This looks like a foolproof way to time the Bitcoin market. Why do so much analysis if you can simply just draw curved lines on a chart? The issue is that you only know those curved lines after the fact. Those lines had been redrawn time and time again. There are multiple versions of this chart. For example, have a look at this. This is on lookintobitcoin.com. Again, a curved line, but here it's slightly different. Here we've got some outliers at the top and an outlier here at the bottom. We don't have that as clearly on btcgoto.com. A slight outlier over here, but that's about it. And notice how vastly different those upper price targets are because this is a logarithmic chart. For example, here an upper target at the halvening would be at around $500,000 per coin. For this logarithmic regression, it's at around 300,000. Or have a look at this. This is another Bitcoin rainbow chart from blockchaincenter.net. But again, it's slightly different. This is from blockchaincenter.net with an upper bound of 260K. No outliers over here. This again is from blockchaincenter.net. So the charts look the same, but really they are not the same. The lower and upper bounds are different. When we check the web archive of blockchaincenter.net, we can even see some versioning right here. This is version 2 of the Bitcoin rainbow chart, simply because this adjustment has to be done several times. This is the recent blockchaincenter.net chart. Notice here the Corona crash is within the blue area. This is the chart in April of 2022, where we actually exited the lower band. This is the same chart in November of 2022 with current data. Here we are clearly exiting now. And so you can make all kinds of fancy mathematics. You can try to find out what kind of data should we use. Should we maybe exclude some data? What's actually the best way to get to a logarithmic regression? And people come up with all kinds of results. This video is sponsored by the Premium membership. I never take any money from any crypto project. I never take any affiliate links from centralized exchanges. I never pump and dump coins. Instead, I offer valuable tutorials in the Premium membership. Feel free to check it out. And so this approach seems to be super scientific, but the issue is when it actually comes towards buying or selling, things still become pretty subjective. If you followed this chart, you might have not sold anything at 60 to 70K in 2021. You might have waited for another 2x. And if you don't adjust that regression, your model suddenly breaks. So if things are that subjective anyways, why not simply just draw a line on a chart? So this here is not a logarithmic regression. This is simply just a curved line that tries to combine, that tries to touch as many lower points as possible. Now we could simply just take a parallel to that. And again, try to connect them. But see, we also would not have taken any profit in April of 2021. So since we already arbitrarily drew this lower line, why not also arbitrarily draw the upper line? Why not change the curvature here? Who says that this has to be 100% parallel? Doesn't this look quite nice? We're connecting the bottoms, we're connecting the tops. It is somewhat clean. And based on that, our upside from the current price would maybe be 173%. The upper limit being 117K per Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong, this is a tool to get somewhat a ballpark region if you're currently cheap or expensive. But I do think there are much better tools for Bitcoin. And the reason I say this is because we've got long-term data. We can see what are the short-term holders doing, what are the long-term holders doing. Are the people that generally just hold over the long term suddenly selling off? Then it's probably time to sell as well. That's data we only have in the crypto space. That's not available anywhere else. Why not use that data? Why only focus on price charts? Look at this. This is the value days destroyed. And this tends to peak whenever Bitcoin is relatively high as well. We would have taken profit at around 40k here. We again see some people take some profit. We did see our bearish momentum after such a peak as well, but still we are not super elevated here. What we are looking at here is simply a measure of how much long-term holders are selling. If you hold 10 Bitcoin and you hold them for 100 days, and then suddenly after 100 days, you're moving that Bitcoin, then you're destroying 1,000 value days. So the more Bitcoin you're holding and the longer you're holding this, the more value days you have accrued and the more you can potentially destroy, giving a stronger signal to get out of the market. If the highest conviction investors that have most Bitcoin and that haven't moved it for a long time suddenly start moving, then things are serious. So I don't focus too much on price. I simply just look at what are the people doing that are smarter than me. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. There's also a free Telegram. Link is down below.